Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho, and today I would like to offer the elemental energy reading for water energy for the month of July. Water covers the zodiac signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So if you are Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, this is for you. Or if you have a high level of water in your birth charts, if you've had those done, you can use this as well. Irregardless, it doesn't matter what your energy sign is. If you find this video, it's probably because there's something in it that you could hear and benefit from. So the way I like to do my readings normally for the month is to go through week by week, which there's 4 weeks in July, give or take a day or two. So we're going to do 4 weeks. Each week I read a guide or guardian, a message from source, and then a lesson or a challenge from the tarot. And this quarter, so July is the first of the third quarter, I'm going to start adding in at the beginning an I-Ching hexagram. And if you haven't seen or you don't know what the I-Ching is, I have done a video on it. It's in, I think, the book review section. So if you want to go check that out, have some background for what this is, you can do that. I went ahead and did all of the hexagrams beforehand because they do take some time to develop and then figure out which ones are which. So for water for July, we have hexagram 32. And it is The Long Enduring is the title of this one. So, we'll go through the text in each line, and then I'll give you the impressions and guidance that my guides have passed on to me. The long enduring, success and freedom from error, righteous persistence brings rewards. It is favorable to have in view some goal or destination. That's from the original Chinese text. The author of this book says, the name of this hexagram implies that which continues long. The firm is above and the yielding is below. Thunder and wind conjoin in mildness when you look at the deal. Because you start at the bottom and work your way up is what they're talking about. But in this first section, it's firm because they do it in sets of 3. But this bottom is yielding. So you've got this... your goals are here, and everything below those goals is actually working in your favor, is what it's talking about. Success, freedom from error, and reward will be won from being firmly determined, all indicating long continuance along your present way. The way followed by heaven and earth endures for so long as to be endless. It is favorable to have some goal or destination in mind, since every end is succeeded by a new beginning. Supported by the heaven, the moon and the sun shine for ages upon ages. The 4 seasons, which ceaselessly transform, are to produce the effects for eons. Holy sages continue upon his way so steadfastly that he succeeds in transforming the world. The inner nature of everything in heaven and earth are judged from the contemplating whatever that is that makes them continue. So, we'll start going over the lines real quick, and we start at the bottom, like I said, and work our way up. And the bottom is, to endure is to continue. He digs a hole for himself. This sort of determination brings misfortune, for he is unable to go anywhere. So this is just implying that during this first part of when you're starting something new or you're in the process of it and you're starting to question yourself, expecting results from the first few steps is going to trip you up. So just, your goals are down the road. That's where they stay. What's your next step? The next line, which is a solid line, it's regrets vanish. So as you stay focused on your goal and taking those next steps, those hiccups that were at the beginning tend to fade away. He is not consistently virtuous and therefore meets with disgrace. To continue thus would be shameful. You don't want to keep looking back. You don't want to keep focusing on the regrets or expecting things to happen in this moment when they're down the road. We have pre-programming that we have to kind of overcome in the manifestation world, where manifesting an apple or a cup of coffee is easy, manifesting $1 million is super difficult. That's in our heads already. So we have to overcome that by letting go of the expectation. Your goal is there. What's your next step? And that's what this is talking about, is if you're not staying focused, you're going to trip yourself up. The fourth line, where are we at here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's the first, this next solid line right here where my index finger is. No game in the field. Basically, if you're not putting effort forth, what do you expect to get out of it? The fifth line, making a virtue of marital that is a weird word. Making a virtue of marital constancy is a type of persistence which brings good fortune to women but is harmful to men. I'm going to read his commentary because that one is kind of being vague to me. A woman follows one lord for her whole life, but men have to hold on to their public duties. For them to subordinate themselves to women would bring shame. So again, this goes back to that whole concept of, are you looking at your goals or are you getting tied up in the minutia? Don't let things distract you from what your actual down the road goals are. They're using it in the term of a marriage where basically in this culture, we're going to use this as a reference. In this culture, a woman as a head of the household is going to upend the household. The man's supposed to be the head, the woman's supposed to be taking care of the family in the home. He goes out, does the work, brings everything in. And so in this culture, having the woman go out and do all that stuff and he stays home is really going to flip the house on its end and shame the entire family, both generations back, ancestors, forever. So basically what they're saying, though, in more modern vernacular, is don't get distracted by the things that are going on around you. Your goals are over here. Now, don't walk on people to get to your goals, but don't let other people dissuade you from them either. The top line, prolonged violent exercise, misfortune. So you don't want to overdo, but you also don't want to underdo. There's a balance that comes with this particular working, and that balance is what will lead you to success. Your balance comes from your intuition. Your intuition comes from guidance from your guides, your angels, God source, divine energy, and that's what this is really talking about. Is this is the long game. Sorry, water energy. We're not talking something quickly at this point. This is long-term stuff, and what are you doing for your next steps? And are you keeping active with those next steps? The goal's over here. That's your end game. That's your let's say you're making pizza. So that's your goal, is pizza. But you have to get the flour, the yeast, the salt, the pizza sauce if you have to make that. There's all these steps that lead up to pizza. And that's what you're doing, is you're in the long game. You have your big goal, but you have to assemble all the parts and then put them together in the right order to achieve the end game. And that's what this message is for, is if it doesn't look like it's working right now, make sure you have all the parts in place for the next step. That doesn't mean you have to have everything, but you have to have those that are ready for the next step. Then take the next step. And then check the next step, assemble the parts, and do that part. And that's what they're talking about, and that's what is coming through, is this is the long haul for you. And so making sure that you are ready, prepared for the next steps. Your goal is ahead of you, so take the steps and keep moving forward. So let's get started with our tarot and oracle readings. And if you're enjoying this type of content, hit the like button, drop a comment on the video if you have questions, comments, even constructive criticism, and subscribe if you're new here. And let's get started. Your first guide for the first week of July is the Ascended Master Yogananda and Rhodonite, Empowered Service. I step into my rightful spiritual place with dignity, reverence, and grace. My higher purpose is empowered by the divine. My connection to the light is strong, unwavering, and enduring, so much so that my trust in its power and presence is unconditional. I accept the invitation from the universe to step up to a new level of expression and fulfillment to my higher purpose. I open my heart to the divine harvest of blessings pouring into my soul. I recognize the readiness within my own soul. So this first week is really helping you understand, what are you here to do? What are your skills? What are your talents? and how can you share them with the world? You've got the Ascended Master Yogananda and Rhodonite, which are helping you tap into your heart chakra a little bit more, and it also helps you see your gifts and your talents, but it's also showing you how you can use those gifts and talents for others. So be aware this first week of July of ways that you can share your gifts and talents. In some cases, you'll be called upon to, share or offer your gift as a something that's more of a charity. But there's other times, and they're being pretty specific about this. You want to make sure that you are being justly compensated, either energetically, financially, whatever. But charity for charity's sake is fine, but charity for guilt's sake is disaster. So if you feel led to be charitable, fine. If someone's coming to you consistently, then it's time to start discussing some kind of an exchange, because you can get taken advantage of if you do everything for free. Just throwing that out there. Your message from Source is jump in. Andromeda energy, adventure, say yes to change. The message from Source is keep moving forward, keep doing what you're doing, don't slow down, you're having fun doing what you're doing, and you're discovering new things. The concept of jumping in is, you know what, I've got it enough to get me started, I'm just going to start. And from experience, I've done that, and there just comes a point when you have to, I've got all these bits and pieces, I'm not really sure, should I start the website, should I start the blog, should I do the YouTube, fill in the blank, and I'm just not really sure, I've got these things, and the universe is saying, are you going to do this or not? And that's really what the jump in is all about, is the universe is coming forward. You're working with discovering and sharing your gifts and talents. What's stopping you? Ask yourself that question. What is stopping you? You have this Andromedan energy coming in. It's an adventure. And give yourself permission to accept the change that's coming forward. You're jumping into a new aspect of your life. You're jumping into a new adventure. Let go and have some fun. It might be a little bit scary. I'm not denying that. But when you take that leap, all of a sudden you're going to enjoy it more. That nervousness at the beginning is just your ego saying, ooh, this is different. Oh, don't step outside of your comfort zone. But what's on the other side of that? And that's what the message from Source is just jump in and go for it. So your lesson or challenge is number 21 in the Major Arcana. So these are life lessons. It is the World with Archangel Michael. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude. The path towards enlightenment. Whoa. So this is in every way a positive card. Even in reversed, the World tends to be more positive. In this particular place, it's just saying, you've done a lot, you've come to this amazing location, but you're not done yet. Archangel Michael's coming in saying, we've done all this work, look at how far you've come, now let's cut away that which is not working for you anymore and continue moving forward. The world literally sits at your feet. What do you want? You have developed, designed, thought about, processed, or maybe you're just starting something completely new, so you haven't even done any of that. You're just stepping into something new. What is it that you need to let go of so that you can access this higher frequency of energy? The world comes available to you when we step out of our comfort zones. And Michael can help you cut away the stuff that's not working. So working with Archangel Michael this first week is what they're saying is probably the best option, because Michael is good about helping you clear paths. So let's see what we got going on for the second week here, guide or guardian. We have the angel Isda and Carnelian with nourishment. Growth requires nourishment. As I grow, I gain well-being and strength, becoming a more radiant light on this planet for the spiritual benefit of all beings. I recognize that in giving to myself, I am ultimately giving to others as well. I embrace my power of choice to nourish myself with what truly feeds and empowers my body, mind, and soul. I explore my own ways to be healthy. I trust in my ability to nurture myself and others. So the first week you were working on developing, understanding, discovering what your gifts are and learning how to share them. The second week you have a guide and guardian coming in saying, now that you know what those are, do you support yourself so that you can actually share those gifts? That doesn't always mean, how am I going to set up a platform to share that? No, they're talking about, are you taking the time for meditation? Are you taking the time for journaling? Are you taking the time to prepare good food? Because that supports your physical body. And when you start working in the more esoteric, especially if your gifts come through as intuitive or healing, that takes a lot of energy and it will drain you, weirdly enough, when you're first starting out. So you want to make sure you're supporting yourself with good eating habits. If you haven't taken, supplements like vitamins, maybe start doing that. And this is not medical advice, but it's really talking about how can you support yourself as you're going forward. Don't get so busy with work, with the relationship, that you forget self-care. And that's what they're emphasizing with that, is you're learning, you're growing, and you're expanding, but don't forget you still have to take care of the physical form you're in. We're kind of here in this moment for now, but you have to maintain your body temple if you want it to live and be successful later on. Your message from Source is karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. So this one, your karmic relationships come in from past lives, if you want to go there, or past relationships. And with karma, it attaches to you. The first week you had Archangel Michael, who's great for cutting cords and helping you cut away the past. And the message from Source is, if you have some things that you need to clear up karmically, then this is the time to do it. Part of self-care is clearing the clutter out of your head as well, and that's where journaling is huge. Writing those angry letters and then burning them is a way to release the energy out. And with the karmic relationships, if it's a past life situation, it's something that you agreed to in a past life that's carried over. And this is where you evaluate. Is it still helping me? Is it still a beneficial connection? Sometimes those past connections, when they come into the now moment, are extremely toxic. And that's where you have to evaluate those relationships and move them out if necessary. And that's where you have Archangel Michael, you have your guides and guardians coming in to help. But just processing through those emotions and those connections is working with this karmic relationship. Polarity is when you're talking about positive and negative, and that's what you're dealing with karma. Is it good? Is it bad? If it's good, keep it. If it's bad, how can you negate that and remove what's not serving you? So you've got these balances that have to be maintained. As you're going through and you're building that karmic relationship and you're cleaning things out of the karma, you're actually growing spiritually, because karma can pull you down and hold you down if you don't process it. And that goes the same for any of the emotional trauma, baggage, past relationships. You just have that anger that's still sitting in the back of your head because I can't believe he, she, it did that to me. And this is where you have to step it down and release it. It's not worth taking forward. Let it go. And that's when you work through that karma. And there are a lot of resources out there to help start the process of that. Again, it's just something to start thinking about and working through. But the second week is really, this message from Source is it's time to release some of those karmic relationships that are no longer beneficial for your soul growth. So your message or your lesson or challenge is the Ace of Fire, an exciting new opportunity, career advancement, and changing your life now. You have been doing a lot of work is what they keep showing me, and it's processing forward, which means you're doing the work here, but it's projecting positivity going forward. And the Ace of Fire is saying now is the time to really pay attention to those opportunities. Your lesson or your challenge is, are you willing to step out of your comfort zone into that next opportunity that comes? Are you willing to grab that rope when it swings past to save you from yourself, basically? But the Ace of Fire is really about this new beginning, but it's going to come in a way that is going to push you out of your comfort zone. So the second week, your guides or guardians are really telling you, be gentle with yourself. Self-care is hugely important because you're processing some heavy karmic energy, and like I said, that can be a little intense. And your lesson or your challenge is be aware of opportunities that pop up this second week or this month. They're adding that because these could be those life-changing things that pop up. And are you willing to step out of your comfort zone to change your life for the better? So your guide or guardian for the third week is Archangel Metatron and Clear Quartz. And we have power. I embrace the opportunity to explore a healthy relationship to personal power. This supports my spiritual journey to fulfill my destiny for the benefit of all beings. I choose to express my pure power in a way that is respectful, merciful, and kind towards myself and others. I utilize my growing power to awaken my boldness and confidence. I recognize the inevitability of my divine fulfillment. This third week is, just because of your guide and the stone you have, it is going to be very, very intensive with who you are. The first week, you were working on clearing some stuff out, understanding your gifts a little bit better, maybe developing them a little bit more. The second week was self-care because you're working on some emotional baggage clearing. This third week is really about ascension. Archangel Metatron is one of the most powerful of the angels that work with us personally, because he was the prophet Enoch originally, according to lore. And when he comes in, it's because you are getting ready for a big spiritual leap. When Metatron comes forward, it is because you are ready. You have done the work, you have put in the time, and your soul, your mind might not be saying this, but your soul is saying, let's do this. It's time to move. It might be a little unstable, it might be a little bit scary, but it's time. And Metatron will help guide you through those processes so that it's not as rough as it could be, but it's definitely going to be a growth spurt. You may have spiritual gifts come online that you didn't think you had or were trying to work on before. If you already have them, they may level up. This third week, they're saying carry clear quartz with you because it's going to amplify but also ground. Quartz is an amazingly powerful balancing stone, so keeping that with you is going to help remind you that as these things pop up in this third week, you can handle it. This is part of your journey. And I don't believe in predestination per se, but I do believe that we make agreements and we have a generalized plan for our existence when we come in, allowing for variances. And so Metatron can help you understand those steps that you're taking and what the overall end game of the path you're on is. Do you need to switch paths? Because that happens too. I think we've all done that at least once in our lives. But that's what your energy is for this third week. But working with Archangel Metatron is definitely going to make it a lot easier. But be ready for some spiritual awakenings going on. And your message from Source is the 7 Star Sisters, birthing creation's tapestry of life and expression. And this ties into the guide and guardian because you have this web of life. You have this connection with the universe. And when you start to awaken spiritually and you grow, it doesn't matter if it's this much or this much. When you grow, you get closer. You start to glow from the inside. You are a star seed. I don't really care what all the different terms and labels are. We all come from stardust. We're all from the same cosmic heart, basically. And so you have that ability to glow, but do you take that? Do you accept your divine spark? And the 7 Star Sisters are saying it's time to awaken that spark. Archangel Metatron is coming in to say, let's get you going, let's level you up a little bit, let's bring you up to this next frequency of where your goals are, even though it might be uncomfortable to reach those goals. But the Star Sisters, say that fast, are coming in to say, now that you're starting to work this up, let's bring the glow forward. Let's help you shine for those around, and that can lead into a service thing. It could be just people coming up and being like, you seem different. What's happened? And those kind of questions happen when you do these levels. So just be aware that this is what's happening in the moment for this third week. Your lesson or challenge, you have a lot of Archangel Michael coming forward, by the way, is number 10, the Wheel. So this is another major arcana card. So it's a life lesson, big changes coming. You have Archangel Michael again. A time of positive change, a situation moving forward, and fortune is on your side. So in your first week, you had Archangel Michael coming in with the World. Get my light off there. And now in the third week, you have Archangel Michael coming in with the Wheel. So working with Archangel Michael is going to be beneficial because he's going to help you clear your paths of the stuff that's not working. Michael is a defender. Michael is cutting cords. He's the chief of multiple hordes of the angels. I can't remember exactly how many. I've read different reports over the years. But he's a very, very powerful warrior. And from personally working with him, he's also really concerned with keeping us spiritually protected and our spiritual growth. So with the Wheel, everything is in a cycle period. Your life cycles, ups and downs, is just what it is. We usually see cycles, in life as ups and downs, but in reality, it's all turning on the wheel. The wheel of the year is you have the up periods, you have the down periods. It's always moving. As you're doing that, though, you're growing up. So it's more of a coil. It looks like you're just going in circles, but you're actually coiling up, and that's what the message or the lesson is. It might seem like you've already been here before, you've already done this thing, but have you done it at this level? Because each time you work through and you heal and clear and ascend, you're clearing out the last layer so you can move to the next. We're like, like that old movie, we're all like onions, we have layers. And that's what you're working through in this time period, is you're cycling up again, and Michael can help you cut away the stuff that's not working. So let's look at your fourth and final week of July for water energy. If this deck would talk to me, it would be cool. There we go. And we have the goddess Maya and ruby aura quartz. And that comes in with a searing presence. Is that focusing, or is that just... I am present. I witness the truth that frees my heart and emboldens my mind with trust, inspiration, and determination. With courage and willingness, I see what I need to see when I need to see it. I ground myself in this moment where all answers, grace, and healing reside. I accept deeper truths that set me free. I perceive through the clear and loving spiritual eye within. I am divinity unfolding. All is well. So you have a loving goddess and a form of aura quartz, which are angelic, coming in for this fourth week. And it's really talking about, you've done a lot of this work. You have the gifts that are available. They're waking up. They're, maybe even growing a little bit more this month. You're clearing things out with Archangel Michael, and this fourth week is reminding you that you are present in this moment. It is you, not somebody else. Water has a tendency to want to escape reality. Water energy as a rule tends to want to be more fantastical. They want to, fantasy novels and things like that. This is coming in to remind you that those are fine, but you're still here. You're still in this now moment. You're still living life in this world, and you have the support, you have the gifts, and you have the talents to continue living here in this time. You agreed to certain things when you moved into this time frame, and this card is reminding you that those gifts are available to you. It's simply being willing to ask for them and reach out and take them. So your message from Source is all paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, and turning your gaze within. We're all heading to the same spot. We all came from the same energy. Now it's a matter of understanding those similarities. We are conscious existence, individualized to expand awareness. We are here to learn, to grow, and then to return to Source to enhance source. That doesn't mean he doesn't source God, divine energy, doesn't know everything, see everything, all of that. But we've individualized out of that presence, the breath of life. We were created from their DNA. There's a whole bunch of different ways to say this, but it all means we've come from one place to grow, to experience, to see what we do with our gifts and talents. When we return, we share that with others to show them, this is what I've done, this is what I've accomplished, these are the challenges I went through. But it's that whole thing of all paths lead back to the same area. There are people today that will tell you, no, my spiritual path is the correct one. No, mine is. My church is right. Your church is wrong. The reality is you all worship the same people. So generally just by different names. And if you don't believe me, compare Greek and Roman religions and tell me that that's not what happened. Anywho, but the inner authority, that guidance, that comes from meditation, that comes from a relationship with your guides, with divine source God energy. And the message from source is, don't forget where you come from. You come from the I am presence. You come from the consciousness of the moment now. You're here to witness life, to experience it, and to grow with it. And because of that, all roads lead home. It's a matter of understanding your place and understanding why you're here. And it might not always be clear. Right now I'm going through that myself. So you never know why you are where you're at. But there's always a reason for it. And you have a lot of major arcana water. That is amazing to me. Your lesson or challenge is number 12, the awakening, with Archangel Gabriel. So you have 3 major life events going on as for lessons and challenges. So your growth could be pretty substantial this next month. You also have a lot of energy coming in with clearing, protecting, and awakening, because you have Archangel Metatron as well with Gabriel. So your spiritual growth is going to could be intense this month. Look at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill. It is important to be yourself. So in the original tarot, this would be the Hanged Man. And it's a simple thing of, when we grow, when we change, we have to shift our perspective. The Hanged Man, upright specifically, is saying that this is a way to change your perspective. Change how you view a situation, because in changing your perspective, you change how you respond to that aspect of life. Sorry. When you change your perspective, it allows you to see what others may be seeing. When you see the Hanged Man, in this instance, it's not quite the same, but it's similar. Gabriel's upside down. So when you are upside down, you change your ability to see the world. You see things from a different perspective. All paths lead home is the message from Source, saying we all are heading in the same direction. How can you help your neighbor? How are you achieving your goals? The Awakening card is saying, as you're doing that, don't get dogmatic in what you're doing. Understand that different people have different views, and try to understand, at least rudimentary, what those are. Because when you can understand that, then you can communicate with them. For example, with my personal practice, I have read and studied a whole variety of different things. And that allows me to communicate with other people, even outside of my spiritual path or my knowledge base, because I try to understand more than I probably should dig into. But I'm able to communicate with people of a lot of different mindsets. I may not understand what they're saying completely because they live it, I don't, but at least I can understand basics. When you stop changing your perspective and you stop learning what other people are experiencing, how they're living, and it doesn't mean you have to put studies into it for decades. It just means be aware of it. Be open-minded enough to examine it. It doesn't mean you have to integrate it. And that's what this is talking about, is as you're growing, since we all are heading in the same direction, we all come from the same place, allow yourself to see others' perspectives, is what your lesson or challenge is for this 4th week. So with that, we'll wrap this up. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like on it. Again, just being a little, little repeating here. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I do monthly readings like this literally every month. And then on Mondays, I do a couple of different shows, and Tuesdays are my other upload days. So I will see you in one of those videos, and I will talk to you guys later.